$1,000, you're getting a lot of sound out of this, and you're getting a lot of good feel. It's nice action. It is not a Martin, but by God, it's not bad. The action's pretty nice on that. And so there's a lot of Martins you can pick up. It looks like $1,000 on up to about $4,000, $5,000. But down all the way down to this Martin here, this backpacker at $300 and something. So I think that's pretty damn good. Well, let's look up front here and see. Hey, you want to see this guitar played right? Would you come play Martin for us for a minute, Jay?
Certainly.
Here's my friend Jay, and he's our luthier of the day. I'm going to get him to really play this guitar. See, I just kind of goof around with it. And just pick up any Martin at your desire.
CSN.
Yeah, that was my favorite too.
Yeah, it's gonna have to.
Like,
just put brand new strings on it.
Got great bottom end to this thing. It's amazing. You don't like my approximate tuning, eh? Voila. Yeah. Of all the Martins I picked up, all the guitars I picked up, CSL was the best.
Wow.
What is it retail
Oh my
for,
God.
first of all?
$5,199.
$5,000, and
We're selling it for $4,099.
more than $1,000 off.
Yeah.
It's $1,200 off the price. That's fantastic, Jay.
It's a fabulous guitar.
It is a great guitar. Absolutely great. And what are you stringing?
This has Martin SPs.
Martin SPs, great.
Yeah.
So what do you look for when you buy a guitar? What would you personally look for when you're buying a guitar?
What I personally look for, well, first things first, the neck has to be straight.
Okay.
And this neck is perfectly straight. The way I check a neck is I look down this way and I see all the spaces between the frets.
Mm-hmm.
As I tilt the guitar away from me, the frets get closer and closer.
Right.
And when they get so close that they're touching, like there's no more spaces,
Right.
you shouldn't see any shadows. It should just be clear metal.
All right.
If you see any dark shadows, that's where your bend is.
Yeah, so the way I described it in one of my earlier videos, folks, is that I said it's like looking down the barrel of a rifle. Pretty much the same thing, is you don't want to see any kinks in that thing.
No, it's got to be straight. Any kinks,
Okay.
you yeah.
First off, you don't want to be fixing this thing the minute you buy it.
No.
So you want it perfectly straight.
Yeah, and one thing that we do definitely here at Foggy is every guitar that comes in, we give it a couple of point inspections. We make sure that the tuners are properly, working, that the necks are straight, that there's no buzzes anywhere on the fretboard. If there's buzzes, we send the guitar back to the factory, calling it a reject. And we also make sure there's no flaws in the finish. Make sure that there's no flaws in the neck, that the binding is good and solid, that there's no separation. We also check the bridges to make sure that they're flat, because there's a lot of tension on these strings, and after a while these sometimes do come up, and we always make sure that the guitars, whether they're coming in on consignment or whether they come from the factory, that everything's nice and solid.
Okay. And what else did you look for when you're buying a guitar? You personally?
Tone is everything. Tone and playability.
Okay, so the action is important.
Action is important. Action's really important. Some people prefer a higher action. Some people prefer a lower action. It depends on what kind of style of music you're playing.
You notice I'm building up some calluses.
Calluses are good.
Finally. Yeah. And not blisters.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've advised folks, remember, not to build up blisters, because that'll be just like when you join a spa and you get hurt. The second day, you don't want to go back. So you want to build it up a little at a time, 5 minutes a day, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Guitars are very individualized, okay? You can have two guitars that are made the same day at the same factory by the same person using the same materials, and they could be very different instruments. They
well,
could
I
have
picked up
different
this
response.
D28 here.
Mhm.
I don't like it as much as the D28 that I got.
There you go.
It's feel, and it's very personal.
Yeah.
Somebody else is going to pick that up and say, that's
This is the best
fantastic,
guitar in the
mine is
world.
junk.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is our Martin room. We've got Martins, we've got Blue Ridges, we've got Alvarez, we've got pretty much the best. We've got a vintage 1968 Mustang.
Mhm.
Very nice guitar.
Saw that.
But this is where we keep all the high-end acoustics.
Okay, let me get this closed for you.